my soul till I could find my voice. And I thank you for teaching me to be strong enough to bear. You gave me the roots to start this life, and then you gave me wings to fly. And I learned to dream because you believed in me. There's no power like it on this earth, no treasure equal to this world.
Beautiful song to open with. You can no longer see her with your eyes, touch her with your hands, but you will feel her in your heart forever. Good morning, my name is Kathy. Today I'm your celebrant to guide you through the sad farewell of a lady who meant so much to you all. That lady is Nola Sedman. Today will be a sad day, but it will be full of love and memories for Nola as you reflect on your own memories, share them here today at the chapel, and then afterwards back at the RSL. Be grateful that you each got to know and love Nola in your own way, and celebrate that you're all a part of her life and she was a part of yours. Today you will hear about her life through her eulogy, memories shared, and photos that have been chosen for today. Nola passed away suddenly but peacefully on the 3rd of March, with her family by her side holding her hands, and she has once again been reunited with her loving husband John, who has been waiting for the love of his life since June 2020. Nola is a loving mother of Tracy and Brad, an admired mother-in-law of Ken and Bridget, an adored nan of Chloe, Melanie, Erin, Lee and Jack, and a great nan of Bevan, Victoria, Hudson, and another great-grandchild to arrive next month. She was a sister, a relative, and a friend to many. Following on from today's ceremony, Nola will be privately cremated. However, as I mentioned earlier, the family would like it if you can join them back at the RSL, where you can continue to share your memories together. Nola was born on the 3rd of December 1946 to parents Lillian and Archibald Haddo in Como, Perth, and grew up in South Perth. She was the youngest of 6 children, with siblings June, Shirley, Norma, Doug and Joy. She went to the Forest Street Primary School, then to the Kent Street High School. When she left school, she moved to Victoria with her parents and sister at Caloroma in the Dandenongs. She then moved to Strathmore and lived with her sister Joy. Nola had a job working for the Royal Mint, and she shredded banknotes while working there. She used to catch the train to work, and it was on the train that she met the man who was to be the love of her life and soulmate, John Sedman. They would secretly catch up in the back carriage so that they could be alone. Their first real date was to the drive-in in John's little prefect car. Love blossomed and they married on the 15th of October 1966 at the St Thomas Church in Essendon. They set off to move to Perth on the day they were married and built a home at Swanview and stayed there for about 5 years before moving back to Victoria. While they were in Perth, they started their family with the arrival of Tracy in 1969. Then Brad was born in 1971, completing their little family. They made the trip back to Victoria, driving across the Nullarbor. The trip wasn't without its problems. Brad was still a baby. After having his nappy changed, he continued to cry endlessly, which was unusual for him. Nola eventually changed Brad once again, only to discover there was a bull ant in his nappy, which had been biting him in the delicate area. Nola felt so bad, but she always reminded Brad of this story. When they made it back to Victoria, they settled in Traralgon at John's parents' home, living in a caravan for a few months. They ended up buying a home in Steel Court in Traralgon. John started work at Superwells and Nola worked as a cleaner in the Traralgon area. Nola became very good friends with Anne, who was the daughter of Bon and Max, lifelong friends of John's parents, Jean and Bill. There would often be Friday morning catch-ups with Nola, Anne and Jean that consisted of coffee, then shopping. Bon and Max and John's parents both had holiday homes in Lake Tyers, and many a happy family holiday was spent there. In the 80s, John and Nola purchased their own holiday home in Lake Tyers, of where they would eventually move to, away from Traralgon, living only one street from John's parents. John and Nola settled permanently into Lake Tyers, and Nola worked as a cleaner at the Tullaram Primary School, along with John when he semi-retired. During the 90s, John and Nola welcomed 5 grandchildren: Chloe, Mel, Erin, Lee and Jack. Nola adored all of her times that she got to spend with her 5 grandchildren. They started their travels around Australia in 1999. They went on the Indian Pacific to Perth. They also bought a caravan and travelled up the west coast to Darwin, then down through the centre of Australia to Adelaide, stopping along the way at the tourist spots like Uluru. On one of the travels, Nola and John met up with Brad at Port Augusta to spend time together. Brad and his mum had a great catch-up over lots of glasses of wine from the cask. And the problem with cask wine is that you don't know how much you've had to drink. Well, let me tell you, from what I've heard, it was quite a lot. Both Nola and Brad had a great time sitting under the gum tree, getting quite cheerful and loud, much to John's disgust. Nola and Brad always remember that time together with much joy. John and Nola had many happy travels around Australia. Sadly, one of these was cut short because John suffered a stroke, was flown to Adelaide, then to Melbourne. John went to Lakeview Opal so that he could receive 24-hour care that he needed in 2015. And Nola, being the woman and partner that she was, visited him unconditionally 365 days a year without fail until COVID restricted visitors. Sadly, John passed away in June 2020, leaving Nola broken-hearted and a huge piece of her life missing. She rarely complained and would take a drive to Bullock Island every second day to look out over the water and think of John and maybe even chat with him. She continued her friendship with Anne and they would chat regularly on the phone, and Nola loved being visited by Chloe, Bevan and Hudson, but life still wasn't the same without John. Only a week ago, Nola told Brad that she felt unwell, and for her to say that she was unwell, that meant something was really wrong. However, Nola being the strong woman, she didn't want to worry anyone. Following Nola's phone call, Brad immediately called Tracy to discuss options, to Nola's dissatisfaction. They both decided she needed urgent care, called an ambulance. Nola was taken to hospital, where it was discovered that she was in end-stage kidney failure. She was sent to Traralgon and the fight became too much, and Nola passed away peacefully with Tracy and Brad by her side in the early hours on Thursday the 3rd of March, and is once again be reunited with her soulmate John. I'd now like to ask Tracy and Brad to please come up and share some of their memories. Memories in as well. I didn't know whether you were going to do it.
Mum, Noel, as I have always called you, you were my rock, the best mum a daughter could have asked for. We sure did have lots of laughs together. No, your love was so infectious to anyone that you would meet. I remember that I was always too scared to ask Dad for anything, so you would ask him for me. As it was my first year in secondary school, Dad told me I had to take the blue case to school, which we still have. I was so upset about this, and you took me to the shops to get a Hessian bag. They were in there, You said, don't tell your father. We didn't tell Dad, so he just thought I was taking the case. We had a few trips to Melbourne, just you and I. We had so many laughs and fun. No, you would put on your shorts to the knees, your top tucked in, and white three-quarter socks with the bag across your front. We laughed so hard. Yeah, you're my nanny. And I remember not too long ago we were reminiscing about this. No, after we lost Dad, there were times that were hard for you, but you stayed strong for everyone. We would chat often and you would tell me what you had been up to. You loved your 5 grandkids, Chloe, Mel, Erin, Lee and Jack. And then your grandkids came along, Bevan, V and Hudson. You would tell me you had met Chloe, Bevan, Hudson at the park and had coffee and donuts with them. While the boys played, you told me they made your day and the boys were always excited to see you. Mum was unwell around Christmas time, but being the strong lady that she was, she didn't want to worry anyone, so just kept on going. I would call Mum as often as I could, but knowing that Mum had Chloe, Simon and the boys close by made me feel better, as they were there if Mum needed anything. Ken and I came down in January to see you and spend a few days with you, which was the last time we would be with you. Ken done some of your garden out the front for you and you were over the moon with it. We said we would be back soon and Ken would finish it off. You said, don't worry, you have done a great job. V and I were to fly down next week for a week. You were looking forward to that. On Tuesday the 1st of March, Brad called me to say that you had called Brad to say you weren't well. Brad and I discussed this and we both decided that I should fly down first thing in the morning. I called you Tuesday night to see how you were, Mum. You said, I'll be okay, love. I said to you I would be down in the morning and we'll see you then. You said, okay, love. That was to be the last time I got to speak to you. Noel, I love you now and forever. And a piece of my heart is gone with you. I love you are now reunited with Dad, your husband, best friend of over 50 years.
On behalf of Tracy and myself, I'd like to thank everybody for attending Mum's service today. I know a lot of you have come a long way, and we truly, from the bottom of our heart, appreciate the effort that you've made. Mum, in my early years, I called her Mum, then I called her Val. When I was a teenager, it was a bit of a done thing, just to have those little nicknames back then. They used to call me Sparrow. We had a lot of happy years at 12 Bulmer Street, with living in the shed, having parties. I remember Mum's 50th birthday party. I visited on a school camp in Tasmania. I went to the Cadbury chocolate factory, bought her a box of chocolates for her 50th birthday. She just had that motherly instinct and knew perfectly how to raise us 2 kids. We never asked Dad for anything because we knew that the answer was always going to be no. You could always ask Mum. She was so, if I say soft, she was so beautiful. And yeah, I guess we wanted for nothing. She gave us everything we could ever possibly want. Mum raised us all almost on her own for quite some time while we were in our youngest years. Dad worked away from home weekly and was only home on the weekends. After they bought their house in Lake Tyers, Mum, Dad, Tracy and I would come to Lake Tyers when they first bought their holiday home up there. I would have to help Dad working on the house, working on the shed. Mum would always say, let him go to the beach, I just wanted to go surfing. Let him go to the beach, she'd say. They'd say, no, not until the brickwork's done, not until this is done. But she was just that sort of person, and just fond memories of things like that I have of Mum. Just those little things that she used to say. Used to stand up for us. One very fond memory I have, when I was around 8 years old, I thought I'd lost my lunch money on my way to work, on my way to school. I felt so bad, I went home and cried to Mum. Said, Mum, I've lost my lunch money. She gave me a big hug. I had a jacket similar to this, a tracksuit jacket on. Put her arms around me. She felt the money in my side pocket, which is not where I would have normally put it. And she just said, it's okay. It's all okay. She was just so beautiful. Mum and I were very close growing up, till the time that she's left us. We enjoyed many drinks together, as you've heard one of the stories. That's only just one. Dad and I had the odd drink, but Mum and I really enjoyed a drink. Especially on our travels in the caravans. I'll never ever forget the times, and that one that Kathy's mentioned in particular. When Dad passed, I have the utmost admiration for my mother. For somebody who could stand by her soulmate and go and visit Dad in the nursing home religiously, day in, day out, 365 days of the year. That is just true love and devotion. That's the sort of person she was, and she would have done it for Tracy and I. She was just an amazing person. I hope to goodness that I find my soulmate and I have that relationship with my beautiful partner, Bridge. When I met Bridge, Mum welcomed Bridge into her family, into her world, into her house with open arms. We'd come down. Mum would always buy the local fish and prawns for us. She knew that we loved that. Being in Melbourne, she loved that. And now Bridget bought herself a little puppy dog. And I was a little bit unsure whether Mum would want to have a puppy dog at the house. But Mum being Mum, for sure, bring the puppy dog along. And Mum was over the moon to see the puppy dog. And it was just an added addition to our family. And Mum had a little cat that lived over the back, Glenn and Caroline's cat, that she looked after. And I think she lived for that cat, to be honest. She had it sleep on her bed. She basically adopted it. That poor old Pusscat, she called it. And now that poor Pusscat is probably wondering what's happening. But as those last days went on over Christmas, Mum got sick. She didn't let me know that she was sick until a week later I found out. And I gave her a lecture and said, Mum, why didn't you let me know? She said, I didn't want to worry you about it. It's not your problem. The same thing's happened this time, unfortunately. She's left it till the last minute to call me and tell me that she was sick. But unfortunately, it was too late. I forgive her for that because that's the person that she is. And that's the person that she chose to be. She was our mum. She was that beautiful, devoted person. Oh, we will love her forever. I just hope now she's at peace, up there with Dad. God bless you, Mum. Your loving son, brother. To our beautiful Dada and Grandma. I thought of you today, but that is nothing new. I thought about you yesterday, and the days before that too. I think of you in silence. Often I speak your name. All I have are the memories and the picture of you in a frame. Your memory is a keepsake from which I'll never part. Poppy has you in his arms now, and I have you in my heart.
A message from Chloe. Dada, I never thought of you as as only my grandmother. You were my best friend, and you were the light of my boys' lives, as they were yours. As I'm writing this, I'm holding back tears as I recall every time that you would see Bevan and Hudson and would happily say, "There's my boys." You were well known in our house for bringing out over treats like jam, drop biscuits and grapes, and everyone would look forward to your visits. You would always tell me, "Make sure you save some of that for Simon's lunch tomorrow." And at times he thought that you looked after him better than I did. One of the earliest memories of you is when you poke your false teeth out of your mouth to scare me. I remember screaming, "No, Dada, put teeth back in head." Over the years, you loved to remind me about when I tipped milk in your fish tank because I thought the fish were thirsty. And that time you tipped me out of the shopping trolley when I was a baby. Whoops. We spent a lot of time together in recent years after Poppy passed away, and although times were tough, we had each other for company. The past week has been incredibly heartbreaking for all of us, particularly for your little sidekick, Bevan. I wish you were here to tell me what to say to him when he asks why he doesn't have wings to go and see you. You'll be forever loved and missed.
A message from Mel. Our Dada. You always had the best stories to tell. We'd sit at your place for hours, looking through old photos and sipping our Milo. You'd tell stories about as you were a girl, which always had us in fits of laughter. I remember coming over on the weekends and cleaning your cupboards, and you generously gave me $20 for my efforts. When you first met your great-granddaughter Victoria, I remember you being too scared to hold her, as though you'd break her. And I only allowed Poppy to hold her. I wish that you could have been here to watch your great-grandchildren grow up together. But I promise that they will always know that you and Poppy are the brightest stars in the sky, watching over them.
And a message from Aaron. Dada, you and Poppy were always the first ones that were there to help when we needed it. One of my favourite memories was when we would have a cup of biscuit and we watched Poppy mow my lawns when I moved out. It is also hard to forget about the kids racing to your place to see who could ring the bell first. And without fail, every time you would open the door with a beaming smile. A message from me. Dada, I always look forward to seeing you for a cup or a biscuit. You were always interested in how work or uni was going and continued to show support to your grandchildren right up until the end. I could always rely on your door being open, and I wanted to thank you for all the wonderful memories. And a message from Jack. Grandma, I'm going to miss you, especially miss your special cheesy omelettes when I come around for dinner. I look forward to coming over on Sundays to put your bits out and have a beer as you filled me in on everything going on. You were always the first one to call me on my birthday, and I won't forget how happy you were when I brought you flowers over for your birthday last year. We hope that you knew how much of an impact you had on all our lives, our beautiful Dada and Grandma. We will miss you endlessly, but we take comfort in knowing that you are now with Poppy. May our memories with you live on forever.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to come up and share a few memories?
Thank you. My name's Anne, and I've been a friend of Nola's for over 50 years. I first met Nola when John and Tracy and Bradley come to Traralgon from Perth to live. They put their caravan in the backyard of John's parents, whom I knew as Auntie Jeannie and Uncle Bill. And I'd known John since I was about 7 years old. My parents were very dear friends and lifelong friends of them, and my parents were known as Auntie Bon and Uncle Max to John and Nola and their children. When I met Nola, when they moved over from Perth, we just clicked very quickly as friends, and our friendship lasted over 50 years. We shared many cups of teas, believe it or not, and coffee. We were welcome in each other's homes as an open door policy tool. Our children became friends and got on extremely well, shared many times in each other's homes. Tracy and my daughter Sue, who's here with me now, became very good friends and still remain very good friends. All the children attended the same kinders and schools, so it was easy for Nola and I to share the help of each other getting children to school. When Tracy and Sue wanted to play netball, Nola thought it would be a great idea to start a team and coach them, which we did, and we loved every minute of it. And they even did a grand final and won. Later on, Nola and two other friends of mine played squash and netball together for a number of years. So many laughs and such great happy memories. My friendship with Nola was the type that we could confide in each other, share our worries and problems, and be there for each other. I have valued our friendship very much, and when they moved to Lake Tyes Beach, it was hard for both of us, and I missed her very much, but our friendship stayed strong. When John was so ill and in care, my shoulder was the one she cried on, and her shoulder was the one I cried on especially when my husband became very ill and died in such a short time. My daughter and I visited John quite a few times in care, and it was just wonderful to see him, but it was sad as well. Nola could not have shown any stronger love for John in those years, and I felt so proud of her as my friend. I will cherish our last visit together in January this year, and my last phone call to Nola early on the Wednesday morning, around 7:20 a.m. It was a short call. She said she'd be okay. We did both manage to say to each other, I love you. To Tracy and Brad, I'm still Auntie Anne, and I'm always here for you. Go peacefully, my dear friend, and I love you. Thank you.
Such long friendships with children being friends as well. It's a great thing. Is there anybody else who'd like to come up and share any memories? There'll be plenty of time back at the RSL as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more memories and maybe even a drink of wine. Pictures capture memorable moments that can be cherished for years to come. Sharing these memories is so important because life goes by in a blink of an eye, which is why photography is so significant. Nola's family has chosen the following photos to share with you to tell you all about the life of the years gone by.
hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. To hear you laugh, to hear you cry, or just a chance to say goodbye, to say the things we didn't say, that would be our greatest wish today. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. To comb your hair, to lace your shoes, buy some flowers, let you choose, a phone call when you're away, just to see if you're okay. To hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you. All we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you. But all we can do is throw a flower. Remember how we loved you. Look for the sun through the rain. Remember how we loved you. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water. Remember how we loved you. Remember how we loved you.
So many photos with mum and dad in them, just all smiles on their faces. Lots of family photos as well. I'd like to please ask you to stand and join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. Today you've been remembering this lover lady who was special to each of you in her own way, whether she was a mother, mother-in-law, nan, sister, relative, auntie or friend. You will each have your own special memories of Nola. When you think of her, remember all the good times that you shared and the love that she had for you and you gave her in return. Remember the family gatherings and the holidays and special times spent together. Remember how she made the best dram drop biscuits and had both them and the grapes on hand to eat when Chloe, Bevan and Hudson visited.
Yay.
As I've heard, she made the best curried sausages, mashed potato and omelettes. Maybe you can try and match her recipes in her cooking and see if you can make them as good as her. Whenever you hear a song by John Williamson or Kamal, think of Nola listening along with you. She liked to listen to both music. Think of her sitting down quietly doing her crosswords and puzzles in the magazines that Tracy shared with her, or sitting in a chair watching Sons and Daughters, or looking out the window to see what was happening in the neighbourhood. Whenever you hear the Essendon footy song being played, think of how pleased Nola would be, especially if it meant that they'd beaten Hawthorn. Whenever you see a pretty red rose, which was one of Nola's favourite flowers, stop, admire it, and think of Nola. No matter how you remember Nola, there will always be love in these memories. She was an amazing mum and a very selfless lady whose legacy will live on in those that she loved. I'm going to close with a poem titled, Now at Peace. Close your eyes to see me and listen to my song. As long as I am in your heart, I'm never really gone. Remember me in laughter, don't drown me in your tears. Remember all the good times that we shared throughout the years. Together we made memories, you made them all worthwhile. Knowing I am now at peace should only make you smile. Even though I've passed away, we're never far apart. For all our precious moments, are kept safely in your heart. Thank you.
invite the coffee bearers to please come forward, and for everyone to please be upstanding.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Watch the ball me.